Good morning, students. How are you? I know, no delay. Did you see that? Did you notice that? Not a single delay. Not a delay getting on, and not a delay getting in person. So, how are you, students? We are here in the early bird classroom. I know, you're like, how does she stay so positive? I don't even know. Because you know what? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why right now. Because every time I go and yesterday, last night, I rewatched one of the videos I did. Not the whole thing, but I had to see where I left off kind of, right? So sometimes I have to see where I left off. And so I watched it and I got in the middle of one of my rants. And I don't rant a lot in the classroom. But I will tell you that I don't like listening to it. I don't. I don't mind listening when I have to go back and listening to the things I teach. I actually don't mind that. I don't do it because, I have 800 videos out there. But I don't mind it. But when I rant, I don't like it. You probably don't like it either. But early birds, here's the thing. You're up early for a reason. You are. I know you're up early for a reason. And the reason that early birds are up is because they are positive. Early birds are positive. Early birds are like, let's get this day started. Let's see what it's got. I don't know what it has. I haven't had much luck in the days past or whatever your situation is. Maybe you had lots of luck, and that's the reason why you like to get up and see what this day has for you. But I think that's the best way to look at life. I remember, and I said this in our last class, I remember when my husband went into the hospital, and it was very serious. It was the year before he passed. It was very serious. He had a cardiac arrest, and it was helicopters and all kinds of things because it was very serious. And I remember going in my mind, like, okay, let's see what you have in store for me. Let's see what this has got. And I was talking to my God of Abraham, God of Isaac, God of Jacob. That's who I was talking to. Let's see what you got. And I didn't mean that in a challenging way. I wanted to see his glory. I wanted to see his glory. And in fact, today in our Engaging a Healthy Mind, Body, Spirit classroom, That's actually going to be, if I can get to it today and massage it exactly the way I want to, that is the message today, is that we are to give God his due, is what we're supposed to do. And in that way, when we do that, he gives us our due. Or the natural consequences are much better for us. So I don't like listening to myself rant. It's getting close, Dr. Feravich. It's getting awful close. No, I don't think so, because I have a soft, not ranting voice right now. Yeah, okay. Whatever you tell yourself. And in soothing myself, I made some more of these. So stop getting on my case. I'm doing some peaceful pastime things. Ugh. Well, your hair kind of looks witchy poo today. I know. That's because I washed it last night. And then actually had the audacity to wake up this morning. That was funny. So, early birds, what are we doing today? I want to tell you right now. I'm getting my 7 up there, in case you were wondering. In case you were curious, what is she doing there? And so, I want to start our day with actually a little bit of almost like a summary. If you're wondering what that squeaking is, I'm coloring the 7. That's the squeaking. So, see. I don't know why the chalk is so noisy today. Maybe it's because my 7 looks a little weird. But not too bad. Day 117. Woo! We are just 11-7. You are a gambling girl, which I am not. Not one single bit. What are they doing over there in Vegas? Taking gambling things and whether or not Taylor Swift is going to say something. Is she going to da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Because they gamble on everything. So I'm not a gambling gal. I'm not. I go on sure things. Like my faith in a higher power. Sure things. Okay, reconnected. All right, reconnected. Thank you. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And next, I'd like to thank Teachers Paid Teachers, because I've got a lot of stuff from Teachers Paid Teachers, which we are talking about memory strategies that I got from Teachers Paid Teachers. The link is below. But today, I am also sort of summarizing, wrapping up a little bit, because I found in my files. Remember, this is about organizing. And so you found something. It doesn't sound like that was very organized. No, I organized things so I could find them later when I was talking about organizing. And then I found my twinkle organizing. Now my organizing in my files was not as organized as I had hoped it would be. There may be other things I downloaded. But Twinkle gave me 30 free days of download. So I downloaded all kinds of things that I thought I might use sometime. And one of them was this. Let me go ahead and put this up there. One of them was our pre-K goals. So I'm going to share that with you as soon as I can find it. There we go. I don't see it. Do you see it? I don't see it. She says, there we go. It's not there. Hold on. Hold on. I promise you it's there. There we go. Our pre-K goals. So if you remember over the course of the last couple weeks, so probably, I would say right around class number 110, 112, something like that, we started talking about organizing. And this is the Twinkle document that I found in my organized files that I had hoped to use sometime in the future. And as you can see, I have. So, what are things now? I want to show you and talk to you about, especially you youngsters, about these pre-K goals that I'm showing you here. All right, how can you use these things in a way that can help you learn better? Right. So it is February, right? It's February, and in February, we're in the middle of our school year, aren't we? Right? We're in the middle of our school year in February. So pre-K is pre-kindergarten. Before you go to kindergarten, these are some goals that maybe you should learn. All right? So some goals are things that if you haven't learned them yet, these are things that you want to learn before you start kindergarten, pre-K, before you start kindergarten. So let's take a look at them. But before you have a heart attack, right, I want to tell you this. If you don't know them, learn them. And that's what makes these goals, right? So maybe you are in kindergarten, but you don't know how to write your first name yet. Now, hopefully you do, because it's February, right? You're not just starting the year. So hopefully you do. You put your name on papers, and maybe you know how to write your name, but it still looks like you're, 3 years old when you look at it compared to the other kids. So that's another goal. How about practice writing your name? If you know how to write your name, practice writing your name. So these goals aren't there for you to feel stupid, right? I don't know them and I'm in first grade and I still can't count to 10. Well, everyone has their challenges. Everyone. All I talk about are my challenges, right? Except for when I'm teaching, which hopefully is the majority of the time. I hope so. Please be. So maybe you're in third grade and you don't know. This is not a punishment. These pre-K goals are not a punishment saying, oh, I'm sorry, you're in second grade and you still don't know how to juggle. Is that not number 2? Number 2 isn't juggle, because all I see is a bunch of dots. What's number 2? Oh, colors. All right. So maybe in second grade you don't know how to juggle, but can you identify colors, right? So yellow, green, blue, purple. And then you continue to challenge yourself in different ways. Yes, I can identify the colors. I'm no dummy. I'm in first grade, right? But can you spell all the colors? Yeah, I just said I'm in first grade. All right, then you're a genius. All right? In first grade, you can spell yellow. Yes, I can spell yellow. It's not that hard. It's my favorite color. Okay, all right. So here are some goals if you don't know how to do them. If you do know how to do these things, maybe you can challenge yourself. I can write numbers 1 through 10. Well, how about then writing numbers 11 through 100 or 1 through 100, however you want to look at it, right? Okay, what are some other goals? Let's keep moving. I have a goal to keep moving. I can listen to a story and retell the details. Now that is a skill that most adults don't have. Did you hear what I just said? Because can you retell what I just said? See what I'm saying? This is a skill most adults don't have. And you probably couldn't even do it. Repeat what I just said. Repeat what I just said. And in fact, when we repeat what somebody says but using our own words, we are learning. That's called paraphrasing. It's a way to remember. Can you recall a story? Now, one of the things that I've been listening to recently is I listened to scary stories, like ghost stories, right? But ghost stories, when you have ghost stories that you listen to on YouTube, and it's just audio on YouTube, so I put it up there, audio on YouTube, and so they are like middle school scary stories. They're not really scary, right? So I like to listen to them. So listen to a story on YouTube. It could be a middle school story, like scary stories, right? Those were always for middle school kids. I know. I remember I read them all. It's my favorite genre of books. Genre, like category of books, were scary stories. I read them all. They had little middle school books there in the classroom. And when you were done with your work, read a book. Done with your work, read a book. Done with your work, read a book. And I read every one of those scary storybooks first. Then there were other ones, right? But most of them were scary stories. I loved it. Loved it. So, or retell one of the stories that I've been reading. Retell, you could summarize if you listen to my Heidi stories, right, that I'm reading right now. If you join me in the reading room at 2:15, usually I'm here at 2:15, 3 days on, 4 days off, we're 3 days back on. And notice we start with a bang, don't we? Well, sometimes you start late. So it's a slow roll. I'd call it a slow roll. Let's get going. Let's get this done today, shall we? I have every expectation I'm finally going to get this done. So retell to somebody, your friend, maybe, right? A story that you've heard, like Heidi, like the chapter that we read in Heidi. You could retell that story, and see if you can't give more and more details. So you listen better and better. Do you see how that's a goal? So now you join me in the reading room, right? So you've been joining me in the reading room, of course, right? Of course you've been joining me in the reading room. And then you listen now, you're like, okay, I'm going to retell the story to my mom or my friend, all right? So now, today, you're listening more carefully, aren't you? And then every day, what you're doing is you're building a listening skill, right? So you can come and join us in any one of the classrooms, the early birds, right? You don't have to come to the reading room, although I know you already do. You can come here to the early birds and you can tell your mom. And then this is what you do. So when you all sit down to dinner, like your Beaver Cleaver family, right? When you all sit down together for dinner together and you talk about your day, like I used to do with my kids, have no appreciation. Oh, there she goes on a rant. It doesn't take long, does it? When you're sitting at your table with the rest of your family, you could tell them about your day. You could tell them what you learned in the classroom. That's all I'm saying. I can identify 2D shapes. Well, I can identify those shapes, but I can't identify what 2D is. Two-dimensional shapes. Two-dimensional shapes. Sometimes it's easy to find a shape in your world, like rectangle. This is a three-dimensional shape because I can see it on all, well, actually that probably makes it more than 3 dimensions. But if I can see it at least on 3 sides, it makes it 3 dimensions. Don't ask me how that, I don't understand how that's 2 dimension, never have. Right, it should be, I see 2 sides. The only side I see is the front. But I do see the ends, right? I see where it stops. So that where the figure stops. So that makes it, I believe, 2-dimensional because it's got the edges as well. Anyway, that's 2-dimensional. Flat, it's flat. 3-dimensional, it's raised. It's got 1 dimension. Oh, that's what it is, 2-dimensional. X and Y. That's what it is. 1 dimension, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions. Right there. Don't forget our great words. Don't forget our great words. We organize these in what kind of order? Mercy, mercy, mercy. What kind of order? Alphabetical order, according to the alphabet. And everyone should know that from our ABC song. Uh-oh, I just dropped one. Can't forget to be agreeable. She's not very agreeable. I am agreeable. See, she's disagreeing with even what I'm saying to the TV. I can rhyme. I can rhyme. Can you rhyme? Play and stay, right? Gum and drum. I can count up to 10 objects. Well, if you can count from 1 to 10, that's probably not a great big stretch. I can complete a pattern. Oh, that's awesome. I can create a pattern. Look at how cool that is, right? So circle, triangle, circle, triangle. What comes next? Triangle? No! Follow the pattern, for Pete's sake. I can create a pattern. Square, heart, which reminds me, the hearts. Thank you, Twinkle, for reminding me about these hearts. And that is what's coming up. What is coming up? Valentine's Day. And we will be doing something for Valentine's Day in our early bird class. I can name all 26 uppercase letters. I can name all 26 lowercase letters because they're the same. They don't, how about writing them? Write all 26 uppercase letters and then write all 26 lowercase letters, because naming the uppercase letters, if I go, name all the 26 uppercase letters, you go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now name all the lowercase alphabet letters, 26. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. They don't sound like they're lower. How can I tell the difference when you're saying the upper and the lower? Make them sound lower. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Much better. I can say the sounds each letter makes. Now that's awesome. That's pretty challenging. Not as challenging as square number 1 or 3, but square number 2, they're pretty challenging. I can combine phonemes to make a word. How about we call them sounds? I mean, honest to gosh, this is the one thing about Twinkle that makes Twinkle a little weird, including Twinkle's name. I don't think Twinkle is very up here. I found too many mistakes. Anyway, but here's a mistake. Calling them phonemes. How about sounds? How about sounds? I'm pretty sure at this level they're calling them sounds, not phonemes. I can combine sounds, k, at, to make a word. K, at, k, at, k, at, k, at, k, at, cat. Say it, man! She's in a mood for a Tuesday. I had a really good cry on our 4 days off. A really good cry. I can clap and count syllables. What? What? I don't clap and count syllables. How about, let's go. Alphabet. Remember? I call them stops. So they're probably, so there wouldn't, if I'm saying stop, you're not clapping, right? But we can go alphabet. That's annoying. How many stops? Alphabet. All right, but you can clap them out if you want. But your parents are going to get annoyed. I'm just saying. Just giving you a premonition. I can identify the beginning sounds of words. Well, if you can combine sounds to make a word like at, then you can identify the beginning sounds of words. So, a little confusing, but I'm very happy that I had that organized enough in my files that I was able to find it and use it pretty timely. We're still on the topic of organization, aren't we? So remember, try those things out and then challenge yourself to do something more. Like, for example, If you can combine sounds to make a word, cat, then combine syllables to make a larger word, or more sounds to make bigger words, like trophy, catastrophe, like that, kind of like that. Starts with cat. Of course, catastrophe starts with cat. Now let's keep a moving. Now we're going to go to our memory strategies, and we're going to go ahead and finish that up. Do I have my face there? I hope not. I did. Memory strategies. And so we would like, I'll show you. Where we got this from. Emily Richardson is where we got this from. The speechpathforkids.com. Thank you, Emily, who has her Master's of Science and her CCC SLP in 2014. Sounds like you're pretty smart. Not only that, this is really pretty organized, much better than some of those other things that I got, right? So I guess I'll go ahead and just use the, I was using the smaller ones. Don't ask me why. Why, Dr. Feravich? I just, can I not get a hello, hoo-hoo? What? No, you can't get a hello, hoo-hoo. Who even knows what that means? Hello, hoo-hoo? There we go. Okay. So these are our memory strategies then. We talked about chunk and breaking things apart, right? Oh, you know what? I do have that, and I'm going to pull it up. Give me 1 second. Chunking. All right, so there's my college definition of chunking for you. A collection of elements that are closely related. How can we improve STM? Oh my gosh. I'm looking at, this is early birds, Dr. Feravich. Early birds. Early birds is supposed to be geared towards younger children who are learning their sounds and ABCs, and then also being introduced to words like phonemes. Yes, you are. How and so what is this STM? Let me get this a little bit more. This is, so again, if we remember what it is, what the definition of chunking is, I'm going to move this, a collection of elements that are closely related. And see what that Miller 1956 says? That is the reference. So a person with the last name of Miller taught us what chunking was when Miller was teaching us about memory strategies all the way back in 1956, so about 75 years ago. A collection of elements that are closely related. When we see the relationship between things that we're trying to remember, what that does is it helps us remember things, not just by, for example, the name of it, apple, not by the looks of it, a red, because that's not going to help us. It's the only red thing on the page, right? And what we're trying to do is group things together so that we can remember this list or pick these pictures of 12 things. Now, I'll keep that up there for you, okay? One more. Oh, not. Oh, tickly nose. Okay, so I have to get used to it. There we go. Okay, so we're trying to figure out a way that we might be able to group these things in chunks, right? A collection of elements that are closely related. We have to figure out how they're related, right? Well, they're not related by color. We can see that. All the pictures are the same size, but certainly a bus is not the same size as an apple. So remember what we were talking about when we were talking about grouping things together based on different kinds of characteristics, right? So we said that we can group things together by chunking them. Chunking a phone number is a little different than chunking these elements, right? Chunking numbers have no meaning other than the actual number, right? The count. 2 is meaningful in its number, different from 4, right? Well, you could say, well, 4 is 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, 2 twos is 4. But now what you're doing to help you remember those two numbers is you're making an association. 4 is 2 times 2 or 2 plus 2. It's 2 twos. 4 is 2 twos. Now I'm making an association to remember those two numbers, 2, 4, right? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 8. What if I went 2, 4, 8? Oh, 8. Then what would be the next number? 2, 4, 8, 16. Why? Because 4 is 2 twos, 8 is 2 fours, 16 is 2 eights. Now I've learned, based on what I know, I've learned a pattern, right? I've seen the pattern. I've put those numbers together, 2, 4. That chunking does have meaning, right? So all of this here says we can chunk by no meaning. We can chunk by physical characteristics, color, size, right? None of these things are developing. So usually we think of living things as being categorized by their development, right? Living things develop. So that third item there, development, we can categorize that, but that's usually living things. Oh, that's a seed, but I recognize that seed to be a corn kernel. Corn kernel's a seed, so that's corn. That's a seed of a corn, as opposed to a sunflower seed, which grows up into sunflowers, right? Or a maple seed that's like that is a helicopter seed. That's different as well, isn't it? Right? So I can see that each one of those seeds develop into a different plant. That may be how I categorize things, right? But the last one there is meaning. And when I begin to chunk based on meaning, and I don't even just have a list of words, but I have pictures, now there are all kinds of ways for me to remember that. I can remember it based on names: apple, horse, car, mitt, truck. Can't see that. Baseball, hamburger, cat, grapes, dog, bus. Is it a bat? And bat. Okay? I can try and remember that list. That's going to be the hardest because there's no meaning in that list at all. So that's going to be the hardest for me to do. I can do it color. I can't do it, but I can't do it on color because there's only one red, there's only one blue, and there's a light blue. There's a couple There's a couple off whites, but then there's a white. It's very confusing to do it based on just the sight of the colors there. So I want to try and introduce meaning to it. That's going to help me remember that better. Apple. What's the meaning of an apple? Well, what is an apple? It's a fruit. Oh, what's a horse? It's an animal. What's a car? Means of transportation. What's a mitt? A game. Oh, truck, transportation. Ball, game. Hamburger, food. Cat, animal. Grapes, food. Dog, animal. Bus, transportation. Bat, game. So what do we have there then? We've got food, fruit to be specific. We have animals, we have games, and transportation. All right, pick one of them now. Let's go ahead and pick animals. Which animals did you see there? Dog, cat, horse. You got 3 out of the way already. What sports did you see there or games? I saw a baseball. I saw a bat. There's 2 more. I can't remember the other one right now. You probably remember already. The games. All right. So I got 5. I don't have 6 yet. I'm going to go to the fruit. Apple, grapes, and oh, I can't remember that middle row. I got apple and grapes. I got 2 more. I'm down 2. And then I already said all the animals, the fruit, apple, grapes. Oh, what was it? You probably remember, don't you? That's chunking. So, and then the last one, transportation. There was a car, there was a bus, and there was a truck, right? An off blue, gray car, navy blue truck. So I'm not just guessing, and then a bus. Okay, so I got those. So I'm missing a fruit, apple, grapes, and I don't remember. I'm missing a fruit and I'm missing a sport. I know what it wasn't. It wasn't a football, right? It wasn't a banana for the fruit. I know that. I remember it wasn't those things, but I can't remember exactly what it was. Let's see. Oh, hamburger. Hamburger. Oh my gosh, that was because I said fruit. I was thinking of fruit. It wasn't. It was food, wasn't it? I should have kept it at food. And then our last game was what? Oh, the mitt. How did I forget the mitt? Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. Okay. That's chunking. But notice how when we add information to it, like the color red stood out in my head, I wasn't going to forget that apple being right. I'm adding information. Sports. Oh, it wasn't food. It wasn't fruit. It was food. That's more information, more meaning. Pictures as opposed to a list help us remember, because I have a picture in my mind. And had I pictured that mitt in my mind, right? I pictured the dog. I pictured the colors of the transportation. I could see the grapes in my head. I don't like seeing that cat. That cat's ugly. Just saying. It's an ugly cat. Look at it. It looks mean. It does, doesn't it? It already looks like it's just screeching and howling and scratching. Oh, where were we? So, ladies and gentlemen, we finally got through chunk. But we're going to get through these pretty quickly. Visualizing is exactly what we just did. We pictured those pictures. We pictured those pictures in our mind, didn't we? That's visualizing. Okay? So we already did that. Find out what is most important. Find out what is most important. Now, this is very helpful when you are managing your files on the computer, all right? You're finding out what is most important, and then that's what you're naming the file, right? Teachers pay teachers. I have teachers pay teachers so I can give credit where credit is due. But underneath there, I have like U.S. history. And then under U.S. history, I have Black History Month, right? I ID the key feature. When we were just looking at that PowerPoint, we were identifying the key feature as far as whether or not it was fruit or food. The key feature was food. Transportation, sports. It wasn't just games, it was sports. Identifying the key feature. And rehearsing it in your mind. I said those 12 elements there in that picture. I said them one time. One time I said them, and that was it. I didn't rehearse them over and over again. Had I went apple, horse, car, mitt, truck, baseball, hamburger, and rehearsed them over and heard me say hamburger, 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 rehearse them over and over again, I would remember them much better. We linked them together based on their characteristics. We were linking together animals, horse, cat, dog. We were linking together games, mitt, baseball, bat. And then we were linking those to sports. Linking things together adds meaning to whatever you need to memorize. Paraphrase is putting something in your own words, just like we said that you should do in our Twinkle goals. Try and remember a story that you heard. When you tell that story in your own words, when you prepare yourself for listening so you could tell the story in your own words, all of that is practicing so that you remember that story better. Or for me, what it is it's the information I read, right? I put this in my own words so that I remember the things I read, not necessarily a story, but facts, right? I put them together so I remember what I read. And then I put it in my own words. That's paraphrasing. Okay. Making a list is the most elementary thing that we do, right? Making a list of all of these things is not nearly as good as seeing pictures, is it? But a list will help us remember things like when we're going to the grocery store, for example, right? I always make a list when there's long things to remember when I go to the grocery store because I hate forgetting something when I'm there. Make a list. It's not the best way to remember things. Sometimes I make associations like, oh, I've got 4 things I need to remember. Usually I can remember 4 things. If there's more things than 4, what do? I link them together. 2 of those are liquids, 2 of them are solids. Whatever. Right? Link them together. Draw them. And that really is the benefit we can see in these pictures right here. And not just making a list, but actually having the pictures. I can see the color red. I can see the truck is different than the car, right? All right. So drawing them will help you remember. And that's it. And we got through our memory strategies for our early birds. That is so great. We're only a few minutes over, 4 minutes over. Early birds. I am so happy you're here. I hope that we didn't get kicked out. Oh, shoot. That's not what I wanted to do. Ugh. We didn't get kicked out. Thank goodness. Okay, early birds, come back here in a half an hour and we will, hold on, I gotta quit this because never mind. Come back in a half an hour and we are going to be here in the Bookless classroom. Coming up in just over a week, we've got Valentine's Day, right? A week from tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So we're going to be prepping to do something special for the people that you love in your life. So don't forget, exciting things coming up here on Early Bird Classroom and also coming up next in our Bookless classroom. Thanks for joining me. I'm the teacher. You are here in the classroom. With healthy mind, body, spirit.